Okay, so something crazy happened, and I want to talk about it really quickly. So it is currently August of 2026, and recently there has been new tech that has been discovered for ARMS. If you didn't know, ARMS was, or not was, but ARMS is currently 9 years old. It turned 9 last June, I believe. And for the longest time, there has been no like new tech introduced to the game, right? Like the game was relatively still when it came to tech. There has been some tech that has been discovered in the past. For example, the swag grab on coil. If you don't know about the swag grab, it basically allows you to grab and punch with the third arm at the same time. Pretty niche tech, but that's one tech. There's also a lot of other techs like dragon cancels and a lot of like I wouldn't say nothing too game changing, but they were pretty simple to get down and understand, right? But the game has been alive for 9 years and there hasn't really been much more development, mainly because that the game is also relatively small until recently. So recently, Japanese ARMS player by the name of Aitu, I think it's pronounced Aitu, I think. Aitu, okay, I think that's how you pronounce it, never mind. So Japanese ARMS player by the name of Aitu recently come upon a discovery on like the 4th. I'm recording this on the 12th right now, so it's around like 8 days after, if my math is correct. It's probably not correct, but they released this document on the 4th talking about a new ARMS tech for Lola Pop Super Dash, right? And the whole technique basically is that it reduces the end lag of her Super Dash. Now, I'm not going to read it from this note. I'm going to go to this document right here because it's a translation. Pringles, who is another top ARMS player from North America, he did an English translation for this new text, so I'm going to read it off here. And this technique, I've read through it and I've also did a little bit of testing for it as well. And this is a very this has potential to be game changing is what I'm trying to say. So essentially, I'm not going to read through the whole entire document. I'm going to link the whole thing in the description if you want to take a look at it yourself. But essentially, this technique allows you to reduce the end lag of Lola Pop's Super Dash. If you weren't aware of this, it takes 20 frames to shield after you land from a Super Dash. So that basically means after you land from a Super Dash, and there's a clip right here that pretty much showcases it. So that's 20 frames, right? You're in 20 frames of end lag, and that's how it's been for the longest while. Well, recently, it has been discovered that you could reduce the end lag by 4 frames on Lola Pop's Super Dash, bringing her end lag down from 20 all the way down to 16. So to see exactly how this works, we got to look at what this part of the document says. Regarding Lola Pop's window to shield from a Super Dash, it's not strictly the same as her frame window to shield from a normal jump landing. If I go into the specific details, I will derail from the main topic. So for now, these are the facts. After performing a Super Dash, if you input another Super Dash as soon as possible, the shield for the Super Dash will come out in 16 frames instead of 20. As for why this is the case, I am not sure. So Aitu did mention that he doesn't know, or they don't know, why this is the case, why the shield animation comes up 4 frames faster if you input another Super Dash, right? But it's hard to see from now, but it does come up like a few frames faster if you're consecutively inputting Super Dashes in a chain like this. Okay, so how does this correlate to reduce end lag if you cannot cancel the next dash, right? Or if there's no... Hold on, I'm kind of trolling. Okay, so how does this correlate to the tech, right? Yeah, there's a 4 frame reduction when you're chaining dashes, but how can you get the 4 frame reduction without chaining the next dash? Well, this is where something interesting happens, and something weird that happens with the game's mechanics, right? So in this game, where it says right here, there's an interesting mechanic that involves buffered inputs during move lag. If you input another move during the move lag, the latter input gets cancelled. So for example, let's say you press the dash button twice extremely quickly. Of course, only one dash ends up coming out. This Super Guard tech uses the same principle. In short, input a Super Dash, and while you are in the middle of the move animation, input another Super Dash. Make the new Super Dash input early enough so that a second Super Dash doesn't actually occur. And if this is performed, and if you do all that, if you perform it successfully, the second super dash will be canceled, and it will take away 4 frames from that landing animation. And there is another clip right here that showcases like the reduced landing lag animation. But when this was being talked about, another top ARMS player by the name of Bumblebark, she's a top EU player, she actually made a video showcasing this tech for Lola Pop in action. So as you can see here, you can slightly see it. You can very slightly see the end lag reduction. So without the buffer cancel, that's what it's called. Without the buffer cancel, the ending lag, it says 77, but that's just like the total frames in the clip. Without the buffer cancel, it's 20 frames like usual, and with the buffer cancel, it's 16 frames. So that's a 4 frame reduction. Just gonna look at it again in slow-mo. With the buffer cancel shields first, 4 frames later. Without it goes up, and you can also kind of see it when it's more sped up as well. And this is actually a pretty big discovery if you play Lola Pop. Now, I don't know exactly what implications this will be used in, but I do know that that dedicated Lola Pop players will just continue to lab this out, right? Like, this is actually a pretty insane discovery. Like, subtracting 4 frames from the ending lag of your dash could open up a lot more stuff. And it may sound like that 4 frames is not a lot, but in a fighting game that runs on 60 FPS, a 4 frame reduction is indeed very massive. It's a very big change. Just imagine like the most broken fighting game move that you could think of, like the most broken poke, and imagine that coming out 4 frames faster. That's kind of broken, I won't lie. And this discovery is honestly really insane, but it gets better. And by better, I mean arguably worse, because this same technique could also be applied to Kid Cobra. Now, if you know anything about Kid Cobra, Kid Cobra gets away with a lot of bullcrap already. Kid Cobra just gets away with a lot. He's seen in the community as a top 4 character, but by the majority of the community, he's seen as like a top 2 character, right? He's seen as like the second best character in the game, and I also see him as the second best character in the entire game. And this document, written by Takajin, who's also another top ARMS player from Japan, he wrote this doc explaining the tech pretty much in the same manner as the one in the other one, but for Lola Pop, right? But here is where the crazy part comes in, because you know how I told you that Lola Pop Super Dash gives her a 4 frame reduction? You remember when I told you about that? Well, if we scroll down, right? If we scroll down, we can see this, right? Like we can see like the 20 frames for Kid Cobra. It's the same thing for Kid Cobra, right? Like he lands on the ground and it takes like 20 frames for him to get into shield. Like that's like a universal thing for both characters, right? Okay, like we all know that. We all know that. If we scroll down, yeah, so it takes 20 frames to land from a jump and transition to a guard, right? We all know that. But if you do this technique with Cobra, you could reduce his end lag by not 4 frames, not 6 frames, not even 8 frames. You could reduce the landing end lag by 11 frames. 11 frames. As if this character didn't need enough. As if Cobra didn't need enough. We also discover a tech that gives him 4 frames. We also discover a tech that gives him 11 frames reduced end lag after his super dash. And it's the same technique too. You perform it in the same manner. But for Cobra, it's arguably stronger because Cobra already has like some of the best movement in the entire game. But with this, it just makes him like significantly harder to punish. And if we take a look at this clip, right? Well, the clip is, this is also by Bumblebark, by the way. If we take a look at this clip, we see a significant increase, like a significant difference from the other clip. Like even sped up, you could see more of a difference. Like in the original, you could like kind of like spot the difference between the timing between when the shield comes up in both of these clips. In the Cobra clip, you could really see the difference. You could really see the difference. 66 to 77. That's an 11 frame decrease. That's absolutely insane. And I know dang well that this is going to benefit Cobra way more than it will benefit Lola Pop, just simply based off all the frames that all the frames of it like that have been taken away from Cobra in comparison to Lola Pop. And I know all the Cobra players are jumping for joy. I know Glyph is jumping for joy. He about to win another bi-weekly using this tech. I know that for a fact. I am about to be grinding this tech like crazy. All of the Cobra players about to be grinding this tech like crazy, bro. It's actually insane. But that's all I wanted to cover. I didn't want to keep this video too long. Let me know what y'all think about this tech in the comments below. I will link both documents as well as the English translation for the Lola Pop document in the description below. And I will also link both Aitsu's and Takajin's profiles in the description below as well. But with all that being said, I hope y'all enjoyed the video, and I'll see y'all.